What's up, guys? My name is Bobby, and I'm a character designer. Every artist wants to expand their skill and be better than they were the day before. It's a constant battle with yourself and with your own tastes and your own standard. And the point of these videos and hopefully future videos are to show my journey from being a better artist than I was yesterday. And for my personal artistic journey, my goal ultimately is to be a character designer in the industry. That is my big overarching goal as an artist. That is my professional dream. I've been lucky enough to be part of productions that you could consider professional and part of the industry, but my goal as of right now is not just to find a job here or there and, sparse freelance work. My goal is to be a character designer 100% of the time, not just sometimes. And that all starts with being a character designer 100% of the time up here and here. So I will be documenting my journey to become essentially a better artist than I was before. I will be documenting my journey as an artist on this channel, and we're going to be starting off with this character. This character is part of an idea I had a while ago based on pizza delivery in space. This character is a typical teenager type character, so he is not very enthusiastic about his job. He is getting paid probably minimum wage in whatever space bucks happen to exist in this universe.
100,000 space bucks? By tomorrow?
His boss is probably pretty hard on him. His basic thought process is, dude, I'm just here for the paycheck. While I don't have footage of me actually coming up with the concept of this character because it's been months of progress on this character, I will be expanding him further, and by that I mean I will be solidifying his design in a traditional animated 3D space. So what that means is I will be doing a turnaround of this character. Now, a turnaround is typically a 4 to 6 to 8 to 10 to however many you want, different angles, so that way it makes it easier for the animators to animate. So they don't have to figure out what certain angles look like. They can just refer to the sheet. It makes the whole process quicker for everybody. So without further ado, let's get into the footage. So I started with a warm-up on this one. I tend to do every morning like about an hour of gesture drawing, ranging from like 30-second poses to 60-second poses all the way up to like 5-minute poses. It really helps just loosen you up, get you ready for the day, get you ready to start sketching, and it's just a good way to warm up. And it's a good way of practicing anatomy in the human figure and line of action, gesture, all of that. Then I immediately started laying in guidelines for the character. And these guidelines are horizontal guidelines meant to align everything when I'm going in for a turn. So if I want his nose to look the same level all the way around, that line will be there to guide me. It's just like it's a ruler that you can use to make sure all of your parts are aligned, because just trying to eyeball it is gonna be near impossible. I started laying in simple shapes for the side view, just kind of a bean shape for the torso, and then I just pretty much traced the head shape, because I feel like this would be a character where when he turns in space, it'll mostly be the same shape all the way around, very not symmetrical but very volumetric, in that when you spin him, he's very circular all the way around, so the shape will maintain, his silhouette will be very similar all the way around. Laying in some of the Jetpack details on there, as well as some of the details in the hand and pizza box. And I'm keeping these, and if you see me like the sketch flashing on and off really fast, it's because you constantly have to check how it compares to the original sketch. Moving in from the side pose, now I'm going into more of a rear 3/4 pose. So this is very similar to the side pose, but it's just in between the side pose and the very, very back pose, so like a flat-on back pose. And this is meant to be like if the character's like walking away, not necessarily straight to camera or something like that. So it's just a reverse of the front 3/4 view. In this view, the face is going to be very compressed, and you'll see later in this footage I did have a little bit of trouble with that, but I wound up fixing it later. It just comes down to sometimes your own brain fools you, and sometimes you have to just shut that off. Like, sometimes you think like, oh, this shouldn't be as squished as I'm making it right now. I need to stretch it back out because it doesn't look right. When in fact, no, it should be that squished. It's just your brain kind of playing tricks on you. I thought the jetpack originally was going to be one of the harder elements to turn in 3D space, but it actually wound up being one of the easiest ones, given the fact that it's such an organic core shape. The vents are about probably the hardest shape to maintain throughout the turn, but even that actually wound up being one of the easier elements. The hardest element, I think, personally, wound up being the head itself. The hand was pretty challenging in 3D space because this is another example of your brain sort of playing tricks on you. When you're applying something to an animation perspective, it needs to maintain a good silhouette. So I was trying to draw the hand straight on, like sort of like this, and this does not maintain a very good silhouette. It's not very like if you were to black this out, you wouldn't be able to tell what this is, right? It would just look like a blob. But like if I go like this, or like this, there are many silhouette options for maintaining clarity. Turning that pizza box in space. It's not the most perspective accurate, but it's just a given element to add to the character's personality, and I'm not going for a completely hyper-realistic perspective here. If I did, I could lay down grids, I could do things like that, but this is just a simple turn in space, applying basic perspective knowledge to it, and I think it holds up just fine for what its use is. And then I'm going in for the jetpack. As you can see, I eliminated a lot of that earlier sketch. It wasn't going the way I wanted. It was because I wasn't maintaining my core shapes. I was trying to draw the entire figure the first time, including the props and including everything. And sometimes you just have to go back down to basics, start from the foundation, and go up instead of trying to draw all of it all at once. And then I put in a red line for the jetpack, and that made it a lot easier because you're focusing on one structure at a time. And now I'm moving into the back view. The back view is probably the easiest one out of these ones that I did up till today. It was mostly just circles, and I'd say that's probably why it was the easiest to do. That and the face detail was literally just a circle filled in with green. I once again go in with the red for the jetpack. It just makes things a lot easier. Even the jetpack was way easier to draw in just a completely rear view because it's just flat on, right? It's just flat on. So you don't really need to worry about perspective in here. It's just very symmetrical. And you'll be able to see in just a second, I actually went in with the the Symmetry Tool. And I don't use it a whole lot because I normally I don't implement that sort of thing into my work, but when I'm drawing things that are straight on and straight back, when they need to be symmetrical and I don't have the time or really the desire to make it take longer than it should, I will use the Symmetry Tool, and it is a lifesaver. I've used this for professional design work. I've used it for, right now, not so professional design work with the goal of professionalism in mind. And it's just a lifesaver. It really, really saves a lot of time and a lot of headaches. So I suggest using it. Not if you're practicing. If you're practicing symmetry, that's something that's good for an artist to have, just in case you don't have access to a tool like this. But when you're doing something that is time constrained, or you're not necessarily focusing on that area of your work at the moment, it's fine to use. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. You know where it is. We all know where it is. Every YouTuber has to tell you, oh, the subscribe button is right down there, and it's right over. You know where it is. If you want to sub to me, I would really appreciate it. And hopefully you are enjoying watching me on my journey, and hopefully it's helping you on yours. Take care, guys.